Welcome to Athenaze, Chapter 1a, O Dikeopolis Alpha. This video will consist of a short discussion regarding the caption on the first page of the chapter, and then an introduction to how I will present vocabulary. Then I will present the vocabulary itself and follow that with a vocabulary review. Please take advantage of this recording by coming back to it and working through various parts multiple times. I have a link to a recording of the story on the web page. After learning the vocabulary, stop the video and work through the story. Then, work through the other videos that correspond to this chapter. Don't forget to work through the exercises in the workbook multiple times, and then use the practice quizzes at GreekExam.com. On to a discussion of the caption on the first page of the chapter. I will freely swap out English words for Greek words just to get you familiar with the Greek language. Who is the man? Who estin the man? The man estin o Dikeopolis. Who estin o anthropos? O anthropos estin o Dikeopolis. Now swapping out who for tis. Tis estin o anthropos. O anthropos estin o Dikeopolis. Who is Dikeopolis? Tis estin o Dikeopolis. O Dikeopolis aftorgos estin. O Dikeopolis estin a farmer. What is O Dikeopolis carrying? Or all in Greek, Ti O Dikeopolis ferry. O Dikeopolis is carrying ton moskon. O Dikeopolis ferry ton moskon. Don't worry if some of the vocabulary or grammar is beyond you. Of course, that is expected. I will introduce all of that systematically. The goal of this is just to introduce you to the language and get you familiar with some of the words like anthropos or the name Dikeopolis. I have compiled and generated pictures that reflect the meaning of the vocabulary in this chapter. It is helpful to use these pictures to learn vocabulary in order to avoid training our minds to swap out one Greek word for one English word. Our goal is to have you thinking and reading in Greek rather than training you to decode into English. Over time, I will be able to use less and less English when introducing the vocabulary. When you review the vocabulary, try to condition yourself simply to react to the picture with a Greek word rather than reacting with an English word and then finding a corresponding Greek word. This restraint is difficult at first, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Don't be in such a hurry that you rely on your English skills. I cannot stress enough how important it is to minimize your English thinking right from the beginning. You will get more out of your vocabulary study time if you maximize the number of times that you review each word. This means that it is best to be prompted immediately if you don't know the word, and then review it multiple times, rather than wasting time staring at words while you hope to remember them. I will force you to move quickly as I present the vocabulary. Don't worry if you miss some material. The whole idea is for you to review, so take advantage of the recording by working through it several times. I will include vocabulary from the story and other logical words in the vocabulary lists for each section of the chapter. It is simply best to learn them earlier so you don't have to go searching for them later. I have all of these pictures as flashcards at mytestfile.com. That site is designed to help you learn vocabulary by coming back to words that you miss. It will also keep track of your progress across many chapters to ensure that you truly learn all of the vocabulary. Keep an eye on the part of speech at the top right corner of the flashcards and my slides to help anticipate the word the picture represents. I will now introduce all of the vocabulary in this chapter, and then I will run through it again very quickly. Please return to the vocabulary review section many times to work on mastering the vocabulary. This is a man, anthropos, anthropos. A place, topos estin, a place, this is a place. Athene, Athene, very popular, star marks the spot in Greece, Athene. An anthropos, Athenon, from Athens, is Athenaeos, Athenaeos. The verb to be, just a rock, I guess, existing, estin, estin, it is. And on the opposite side, ukestin, ukestin. A field, o agros, o agros. person in the field working, he's known as a oafturgos, a self-worker. He's employed by himself. He's a farmer, but an independent man. Oafturgos. More than one agros, all of his property together. Okleros, a farm. All types of work here on the farm. Hoeing, harvesting olives, plowing. Yeri, he farms. Ositos. The clouds provide water. Agrositos. Man hands over money for it. It's provision, handing over. Parechi. He provides one's entire life. Ovios. More than just farming. This is a noun. Oponos, labor. Oikos, where a person, yuki, he dwells. Phili, love. He is talking, he says, lei. Now the verb of ponos, poni, he works. Notice the smiling eyes, he's quite happy, he's letting out a cry for joy. Hieri, he rejoices. Verb, and now another verb, the opposite, he's quite upset, he groans. Stenazi. Quite excitable here and energetic. Oaknos, goes on forever. Aperondos, not chained, but alepteros, free. Not too little, not too much. Ikanos, not weak, but ischiros. On the right, we have thumbs up, quite pleasing to the eye, quite nice to each other. We have kalos, very well done, very good. On the left, we can't say that, thumbs down. What is going on? Quite disturbing. Kakos. On the right, we have a long sword, a long trireme, very large and long. Makros, and the opposite on the left. Mikros, small and short. On the right, polus, much. And on the left, little. Oligos. Not easy. This is not easy. Sisyphus is working very hard here. Halapos, difficult. I will now run through the vocabulary very quickly without any English or explanation so that you can review this part of the video to study the vocabulary. I would also recommend that you go to mytestfile.com and review all of this vocabulary in mixed order, and as the chapters build, it will keep track of which words you've learned well, which words you haven't, and quiz you on the words that you need to learn better. So here we go. Try to say the word, the Greek word that the picture represents before I do. Anthropos. Athene. Athenaze. Estine. And on the other side, Ukestine. Oagros. Oafturgos. Okleros. Yeri. Ositos. Parechi. Ovios. Oponos. Oikos. Yuki, yuki. Fili, fili. Lei, lei. Poni, poni. Hieri, hieri. Stenazi, stenazi. Ognos, ognos. Aperondos, aperondos. Eleftheros, eleftheros. Ikanos, ikanos. Ischiros, ischiros. Kalos, kakos. Macros, mikros. Polus, oligos. Halapos, halapos.